trying to show people that help is needed now.
I think he is basically one of the leeches that he's accusing have taken advantage of her in her life.
If this were actually about him caring about Britney Spears, then why is he writing in his book about her alleged lesbian hookup? If there is one thing that you can unite every nation, it is the fact that Kevin Federline has always been a greedy bastard.
Did the book You Thought You Knew by Kevin Federline did well? Today, we're taking a deep look into the story behind Kevin Federline's memoir, the expectations, the public response, the competition, the controversy, and the insider reports suggesting the book didn't sell well at all. Let's dig in. Before we begin, please support the channel by subscribing and liking this video. It's only through your support that we can continue creating content like this. Now, let's dive in. Kevin Federline once stood at the center of one of the most famous celebrity stories of the early 2000s. His marriage to Britney Spears turned him from a backup dancer into one of the most talked about men in America. Years later, after interviews, leaked videos, and public statements about Britney, Kevin decided to do something many celebrities eventually do: release a memoir. But there's one question almost no one is asking out loud. What actually happened to Kevin Federline's book? And why did it seem to vanish from the public conversation almost as soon as it appeared? When Kevin Federline released his memoir, You Thought You Knew, many people viewed it as an attempt to explain himself, to offer insight into his life, his role in Britney Spears' story, and the challenges he faced over the years. But when you look at the timeline of Kevin's public actions since 2004, a noticeable pattern begins to emerge. It's a pattern centered around stability, financial security, and opportunities connected directly to Britney. Whether intentional or coincidental, the major turning points in Kevin's public life seem to align consistently with moments when Britney's income, fame, or public visibility increased. This doesn't prove malicious intent, but it does create an interesting picture worth examining. Let's go through it step by step. Before Kevin met Britney, he worked steadily as a backup dancer. He earned a modest income, lived a normal lifestyle, and was largely unknown outside the industry. There is no dispute about this. He did not have significant financial resources of his own. When Kevin and Britney's relationship began, his financial reality changed dramatically. He stopped taking background dance gigs. He moved into Britney's homes. His day-to-day expenses were covered. His lifestyle shifted from modest to celebrity-level comfort. This doesn't automatically mean he was after money, but it does establish a clear contrast between his life before and after Britney entered the picture. When Britney filed for divorce in 2006, Kevin immediately requested primary custody, legal fees, and child support. This is normal in many divorces involving children. However, in this case, the child support number was extremely high because Britney was one of the highest-earning musicians in the world. Public court documents made it clear Kevin would receive substantial monthly payments. These payments would increase when Britney earned more. Britney became financially responsible for the majority of their son's upbringing. Whether one views this as fair or opportunistic depends on interpretation. But the financial arrangement undeniably placed Kevin in a stable economic position tied directly to Britney's career. During Britney's 13-year conservatorship, something interesting happened. Kevin remained almost silently neutral. He did not publicly criticize the conservatorship. He did not raise concerns about Britney's restricted liberty. He did not publicly advocate for changes in her situation. At the same time, Britney was working under the conservatorship. Kevin's child support income remained consistent. His payments increased during Britney's most profitable years: Vegas residency, tours, promotions. It is important to be clear, silence does not equal intent, but the lack of public support for Britney's freedom stands out, especially when contrasted with how vocal he became after the conservatorship ended and Britney stopped working. This pattern is highly documented. Britney releases new music. Kevin appears in small interviews. Britney's name trends globally. Kevin releases statements. Britney prepares her memoir. Kevin announces his own. Britney posts personal stories online. Kevin leaks the videos. Britney's memoir sells millions. Kevin gives interviews again. The timing is consistent enough that many observers have pointed it out. Again, this doesn't prove motive, but it shows a correlation between Britney's visibility and Kevin's reappearances in the public eye. This includes the 2022 leaked videos of Britney arguing with her sons, the 60 Minutes Australia interview, public comments from Kevin's household, the Hawaii relocation tied to child support laws, and eventually the memoir. All of these surfaced during times when Britney was undergoing major public or financial changes. When Kevin moved his family to Hawaii, it caught attention not because Hawaii was unusual, but because Hawaii's legal system allows child support to continue until age 23. Legally, this is legitimate. Families move states for various reasons, but the timing raised questions because Britney's sons were approaching adulthood. To many observers, this move appeared financially beneficial, not morally wrong, not illegal, but undeniably advantageous. Again, this is not an accusation. It is simply a fact that the laws in Hawaii allow for longer child support, and it happened at a moment when Britney's children were aging out of support requirements. That timing, once again, fit the same long-term pattern. Britney's memoir sold millions worldwide and dominated the media for months. Shortly afterward, Kevin announced his memoir. This move aligns with a noticeable trend. Britney speaks publicly, Kevin follows. Britney earns, Kevin releases statements. Britney tells her story. Kevin attempts to tell his. It creates a recurring dynamic where Kevin seems to enter the public conversation only after Britney opens a door, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Does this prove anything? No, but it reinforces a consistent observation. Kevin often releases content, commentary, or media appearances at the exact moments when Britney's story is receiving heightened attention, increasing the likelihood of relevancy and profit. When Kevin's memoir finally released, it did not gain much traction. No viral clips, no major interview tour, minimal media attention, low chart presence, limited social media discussion. One insider report, circulating in entertainment publishing circles, claimed the book didn't sell well. Another added, retail demand was lower than expected. These were not official statements, but they were consistent with what the public saw. A quiet release with little impact. The contrast between Britney's massive success and Kevin's low visibility launch strengthened the existing perception that the public did not respond to his narrative, whether because of timing, interest, or the long-standing financial narrative surrounding him. Taken individually, none of these moments confirms that Kevin Federline is motivated by money. But taken together, over nearly 20 years, they form a clear and consistent pattern. Major life changes happening when Britney's income increases, legal benefits structured around her earnings, moves aligning with child support extensions, media appearances timed with Britney's public visibility. A memoir following Britney's best-selling memoir, periods of silence during Britney's forced work years. The pattern doesn't prove motive, but it does raise reasonable questions. And it's those questions that make Kevin Federline's memoir such a fascinating part of this story. A project built to explain his perspective, released at a time when Britney was once again dominating global attention, and ultimately failing to capture the audience he hoped for. In the weeks following its release, there were unverified insider claims circulating in entertainment media about the book's performance. One report suggested that early sales were extremely low, with some insiders estimating that only a few thousand copies were sold in its initial run. However, it is important to stress that these numbers were not confirmed by the publisher, the distributor, or any official sales tracking agency. As of now, there is no publicly verified sales figure for Kevin Federline's memoir. Any rumored number remains speculative unless the publisher or official retail partners release concrete data. Until then, the only confirmed fact is that the book did not generate significant buzz or chart presence, which contributed to the perception that it underperformed commercially. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support truly helps the channel grow and allows us to continue bringing you more content like this.